Hello there, welcome back to my channel. If you can't already tell, I have no makeup on. I've got my cozy robe on. So that means this is one of those relaxed, casual, get ready with me videos. We're gonna be chatting a little bit about just what's been going on and also gonna be putting myself together. I've got a couple places to go, including a birthday party. So I've got some new products, some old products. We're gonna combine everything together and hopefully create a wearable look that's going to last for hours. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Now let's get started. First things first, I really need something on my lips. Ciate London was so sweet. They sent me a box of several new items, including this watermelon burst lip oil. I've used this now twice and I was surprised at how long lasting the moisturization is because it feels pretty thin like a lip oil, but as you'll see, once I get done with the rest of my makeup, I still have product on my lips and it does a great job of moisturizing. And bonus, if you happen to lick your lips, it actually tastes good. Not that I'm condoning eating lip gloss. All right, let's add some eyeshadow primer. This is one I've been using for a number of months now. This is the Smashbox Intensify eyeshadow primer. And as I mentioned every time I use this, because all the reviews talk about how hard this product is to get out of this new tube, mine has now become very easy. So I feel like once you get past the initial first few uses, you won't have any issues, hopefully. All right, we're using something I've only used once before, so this isn't a review, but we're just testing it out. This is the Natasha Denona Hygiene Skin Glass. Now, I am a combination oily girl, so sometimes products like this scare me, but they look so beautiful that I get reeled in to try them. So this is the Energizing and Hydrating Primer Serum. And every time I see Natasha Denona use this, it makes the skin just look gorgeous. Now, what I did the first time I used it, and I didn't have any issues, I've already moisturized and applied sunscreen, but I'm just going to apply a little bit of this kind of around the perimeter of my face where I would want a little extra glow where I'm not super oily. And I'm just kind of going slow. When I try new products like this, I have to be careful because I do have sensitive skin, but I like to see what it does. And I think you can tell it does add a really nice glow, but it doesn't feel heavy at all. It's not oily, but it's also not silicone-y feeling, very lightweight. So, all right. We put a couple drops on, we'll see how it does. Again, that's something I'm going to continue using. All right, foundation. This is one that I have loved and used for a number of months. Oh, maybe since last summer. It's the Dior Forever Matte Foundation. I'm mixing these two. You might notice I do have a little bit of Sunless Tanner on. I've started my Sunless Tanner trials, so this is a new one. I'm actually liking it so far. I'm going to use the BK Beauty 101. This is the travel size brush. I'm going to use that to apply a combination of those two colors. And I might have actually gotten it a little light, but that's okay because I have a couple of bronzing products I would like to use today. So sometimes I don't mind going just a hair lighter on my face so that when I apply bronzer, the color of my face doesn't end up being darker. With short hair, that's something you really have to be careful of. So going over that primer, that blends in nicely. One thing I've noticed about this Forever Matte Foundation, if you apply a more dewy sunscreen, I do feel like this goes over it even more beautifully. You can use less product, but I can't do that if I'm going to need it to last for a lot of hours like I do today. So just a little side note, but that's why I do feel like this foundation can work even if you have dry skin. Just moisturize properly underneath. All right, we're gonna leave the complexion there. If I do my foundation first, it's usually because I wanna give it time to sink in before I go in with powder. Sometimes if you apply foundation and then go immediately on top of it with your setting powder, it can get really cakey. So I like to let it set, especially when I'm using a dewy primer. Let's go back to the eyes, and I'm using a new palette. This is from Dominique Cosmetics, and she's done a new essential palette. And to my knowledge, this is the first time she's done this kind of plastic packaging. All of her other ones were cardboard, and this is so nice and luxurious, yet I love the simplicity of it. Look at those shades. I mean, this is kind of what I think of personally when I think of essentials. You gotta have a little bit of a rosy pink, some really good neutrals, that really nice deep black, and then a row of shimmer shades. A couple of these are a little more like toppers, but we're gonna have some fun. So I'm gonna start off with the Sigma E50 and this matte cream shade. This is the color name Positivity. I'm gonna put this right under the brow. These are good and pigmented and a little bit powdery, a little powder kick up in the pan, but I just like to tap off my brush, and then I don't really find that I have problem with fallout. Next, going in with the BK Beauty 201 brush. I've been enjoying a combination of these two shades. So the tan shade is Compassion, and this rosy shade is Me Amo, and I love that. My husband and I say Te Amo all the time, so it's kind of fun. But I'm just gonna work the combination of those two through the crease. It gives us a nice kind of warm, slightly pink or slightly rosy. I don't want to say pink, that scares everybody. Makes you think that it's gonna look like your eyes are really sick, but the combination of those two I think gives a nice kind of neutral warm shade. Now on a BK Beauty 206 brush, I'm gonna go in with just these two shades, so Compassion and True Self. And I'm going to work these into the outer corner a little bit through the crease. And as I do, I will update you. We have been, as many of you may have seen, a little white dog appearing on a couple of my videos. And her name's Mia. She's been here for almost 4 weeks. It was supposed to be 3.5, but her parents got stuck out of the country for a few more days. So it's been fun, but oh my goodness, it's been really busy. And because we've been having such crazy, rainy, cold weather, it's made all of her mini walks a day that she requires a little extra challenging. So I kind of just feel like I've been treading water and haven't really been getting my video schedule on track, but I'm hoping to get back there this next week. Let's see here. Okay, let's go down now to, I'm gonna tap into a little bit of the black shade just to add a little depth. We'll probably add a little more, but do you see how nice you can just, if you use a diffused brush like this one, it helps you not get too much intensity too quickly. But I just love how all of those shades combine. And even though this isn't a super dark brown, just by adding a little bit of the black next to it, you can make it a dark brown. So that's just a little tip. Okay, on the lid, we're gonna do something fun. I'm gonna use, this was recommended to me by a couple of you. This is the Giorgio Armani Eye Tint Silk in the shade Cold Copper, which apparently is a very popular color. It's often out of stock, but I thought, you know, I should try some of these items that you can get at Sephora, because as many of you know, Sephora is about ready to have their spring sale. It's coming up. I think the Rouge members can start shopping the 14th of April. So let me know if you want to see a recommendations video or an unboxing video. All right, so that's smoothed really nicely over the lid. I'm gonna give it a moment to set and dry before I fully open my eyes. I can see why this could be a mature skin friendly formula, because even though it has shine, it doesn't have like chunky glitter particles in it. And this would definitely be kind of one of those shades you could do all over your lid, maybe blend quickly through the crease and call it a day. So kind of one of those one shadow looks, but you know, we got to do a little more, right? So I'm going to go back to the palette because we've got some really beautiful shimmers. This one is, I think, close to the color on the lid, just a little more gold. And then this shade, you know, I love this shade. Look how pretty that is. So I think I'm going to start with a little bit of this gold shade. I'm just going to use my finger, go right over that cold. Oh yeah, those are pretty combined. Because before I've just done these shades kind of on their own, and they're a little more sheer on their own, but going over that cold copper, really like that look. And I know we'll add a little more of that light color later, but let's add a little bit of black liner. I've been testing out this one from CoverGirl. This is the Exhibitionist Lash Enhancing Liquid Eyeliner. No shaker ball, and it does have a pretty long point, but I'm kind of getting the hang of it. We'll see how I do today. But I'm just gonna go a thin line here, and it's gonna look a little strange, but I'm not gonna do anything real big out here because I am gonna apply those half lashes that you've seen me wear now in a couple videos. I've been really enjoying those. So when I wear them though, I do like to have a little bit of liner on the inner part. I'll go ahead, I'm gonna just add a little bit here along the lash line, but not going to worry about winging it out or anything because we're gonna apply those lashes and they're gonna give us the lift out there that we need. And you may notice I do this liner a little bit thicker because this eye is uneven. It's a little more open, less hooded, more downturned. Have a whole video on it. I'll link it down below. All right, for the lower lash line, let's do the NYX Epic Wear pencil, and this is in All Time Olive because I picked out my outfit for today. I know I'm gonna have a little hint of olive. So actually it's not a hint. It will be full on olive with some pink, but we'll add a little bit of this, a lower lash line. And then just real quickly, I'm gonna take the M432 from Morphe and a little bit of Compassion and just soften where that liner ends. And then I think I'm gonna add a little bit of this shimmery shade right there. And just a little bit of some glow. I don't know, might be undetectable, but hey, we know we did it, right? Okay, I know I'm gonna want to deepen just this little part right here a little bit. So I'm gonna go in with the 204 from BK Beauty and a little bit of that black, and then I'm gonna touch into that brown and just add a little tiny bit of depth here, a little shading. And again, knowing I'm adding some lashes, it will just all blend really well together. I really like this color palette. I find it just to be really easy to use. And yeah, they're easy to blend and they wear well. Right, let's clean up under the eyes with a little bit of almond oil. Now I use the brand Now Solutions, but I transfer it into this really fancy bottle. So many of you have asked what brand it is I use, and it doesn't come in that fancy bottle, so just FYI. But I'm just gonna use this to clean up the fallout, adds a little bit of moisture so we can prepare for our concealer. I am still trying out the new formulation of the Dior. This is the Skin Correct concealer, but I have already used, and I do really like the Backstage concealer. So I kind of want to see how the two of these combine. I'm going to go in with the slightly darker one. This shade I have is 2W, and then I'm going to go over it with a little bit of this one in 1.5 Neutral. I know, all over the place. That's what happens when you do sunless tanner. You have multiple shade needs, but I do like to buy one kind of darker concealer and one lighter, and then you can always mix the two to get your perfect shade. All right, Backstage concealer. I'm going to apply this first. You really do not need very much of this. I'm excited. I just ordered the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer at the 21 Days of Beauty sale from Ulta. So I will be testing that out. I feel like every concealer has a large fan club and a large club that don't like it. So we're gonna see what we think of it. And then I'm gonna go in with just a tiny little bit of this right here for a little added brightening. And then I'll use a little bit in the center of the nose and kind of where the 11s are. And then I'm doing this trick. I've been enjoying doing this where you take a lighter concealer just at the corner of the eyes and blend it upward so it kind of gives the eyes that little added lift. I'm going to use the Sephora number 47 brush to blend that. See how that just kind of gives the illusion of an eye lift there. I go back and forth on when I want to set the concealer. Sometimes I feel like it's better if I let it sink in and crease and then kind of take out the creases and then set it. So that's what we're going to do today and go in with the next newer product. It's the Milk Makeup Contour Stick. Again, one that some of the shades keep going in and out of stock. This is the shade Toasted. This is really good. It is really tiny, really itty bitty tiny, but it is a really quick way to add some contour. Now you'll notice this is a very gray tone, which is what you want for contour. I see a lot of people do contour with a very warm orange color, and that is meant to be more of a bronzer. So this is, though, you do have to be careful you don't go too crazy because you don't want your face to end up looking gray. But you'll see you want contour to look like a shadow and sculpt. Do you see how that? So if you get the right color, it should almost just disappear, but it puts a shadow there, right? So I am liking this, but again, it's not, the tone of it is definitely not a bronzer. So if you want a bronzer skin, you do have to go in with something else. I feel like the NARS Laguna Cream Bronzer is one that it's cool enough that I can contour, but it's warm enough I can also get away with a little bit of a bronzer. So just FYI, but yeah, still testing this out. It's not a whole lot of product in that tiny little thing. It's very travel friendly, but I don't know, we'll see how long it lasts. Speaking of bronzers, I did pick up the Say bronzer. I've heard so many people talk about this. I have it in the shade Light Bronze. It's called the Sun Melt bronzer. And this is one that I see a lot of people contour with, but it's way too warm for me to contour with. But I am going to apply a little bit of this. And by the way, I'm using the BK Beauty 107. Apply a little bit of this on the tops of the cheeks. This does come in multiple colors. This might end up being too light for me once summer hits. We'll see. It's showing up a little bit. But yeah, I would probably go with a deeper shade in the summer personally. But it is a really nice product. I've heard it compared with the Chanel Tan Soleil de Tan Chanel, whatever that product is called. I actually have the new version, the new formulation of that. So I will be testing the two of these side by side. Because even though this is a more expensive, this isn't drugstore, it's a lot less expensive than the Chanel one. So I'll let you know my thoughts. But that, you know, very natural, very, very natural. So if you are a deeper skin tone, you're definitely gonna wanna go up a shade. Oops, I forgot to work on my contour over here. Oh, it's been kind of one of those weeks, those months, forgetting things, so much stuff going on. a couple of collaborations. I think some of you may have been seeing some of the Vichy eyewear ads, commercials airing. That's exciting. We're kind of just starting into our partnership together. So lots coming up in the next couple of months. I'm gonna go in now with blush, and this is the Nude Sticks Matte in Juicy Melons. Another thing I just picked up in the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale. I told you in that recommendations video, every time these go on sale, I just can't help but pick up another shade or two. So this shade, oh, I love it. It is, let's see if I can give you kind of what it looks like by itself. It is just kind of a nice, soft, warm pink. So it's not the cool cheek, you know, the cold cheek girl color, but it is a really good pink for me going into summer, especially too. Oh, I really like that. I'm using the rougher 04 brush, by the way. So pretty. I'm not going to put on too much though, because I may top it with a powder blush after we powder. And speaking of powder, let's do that now. Okay, I'm going to use the Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake Easy Bake again. Just still trying to figure out what I think about this. I definitely don't bake with it, but I do feel like it does set everything really well. I'm going to go in with a dry sponge now, tap out the creases before we powder, because you know, if you powder in those creases, they stay. We definitely don't want that. Let's go with the 110 from BK Beauty. I'm just going to tap into that powder, and then I'm going to tap off the excess. Oh my word, see, I definitely do not want that much going under the eyes. All right, and now let's go ahead. I'm going to set the under eye area just lightly. I don't mind, I don't have crow's feet, so I don't mind adding a little extra powder here in the outer corner. And then I am going to add a little bit here, center of the face. So pink powder is supposed to be very brightening. For the rest of the face, I am going to use the NYX Mineral Matte Finishing Powder, and this is the light medium shade. I've been bouncing between several different powders lately, and I want to go back to this one because I feel like this is one of the better ones at keeping my makeup just looking poreless longer. I am going to tap out my forehead lines. All right, let's go ahead and start there. And this is one of those velvet puffs that you're seeing everybody use because they're just so inexpensive and easy to get on Amazon. So I'll link them down below. See that powder? Like, it makes everything just disappear. I'm loving it. And by the way, I have been testing out the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firm X primer that so many people are raving about. Oh, let's just say I'm going to give it one more shot, but it's not a miracle in a tube for me. Let me just put it that way. Not so far. So, but this powder sure is miraculous. All right, something else brand new. I have not seen anybody talk about this, but this is the Physicians Formula Butter Glow, and it's a pressed powder, kind of like a finishing powder. A lot of reviewers are comparing it to the Hourglass powders. It is super buttery smooth. I do feel like this is comparable to the glow powders from Hourglass, not the ones that don't have a glow, not like dim light or anything, but I am going to be comparing this. There is one of the Hourglass powders in one of the palettes that I do feel like this is very comparable to. You see, it gives a really nice glow. Now, it can build up very quickly, so you do still kind of want to go in with a light hand as I dig my brush in. I'm using the MAC 140 fan brush, but this smells like coconut. It's a little lighter scent than their butter bronzer, but real similar. So just, it does have that scent to it, but I don't know, makes me think of summer. Today, our temperature is in the 70s, and Our nectarine tree is in full bloom. It's so beautiful. I'll be posting some pictures soon on Instagram. Oh, love it. So I'm kind of just, you know, feeling a little bit of that spring mode here. All right, I feel like I want to add just a little touch of this blush. This was a freebie, free gift with purchase. It's a Tarte. It's the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in the shade Captivating. I've always wanted to own this shade, never bought it. And lo and behold, I got it free with a gift with purchase. So I'm just gonna tap a little bit of this. I used this the other day and oh, just love it. Love the combination too with that nude sticks. You could just go in with this blush, but you know, we've got things to try, right? For brows, I do have a new product. I don't know if you saw, but Glossier brand is now being sold at Sephora. That made me excited only because it's been really difficult to try that brand because you don't get free shipping unless you order a bunch and it's hard to return. So I was in Sephora the other day and they had this on display and I've always wanted to try their Boy Brow Gel. So I am going to fill in quickly with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This shade is ash brown. I'm bouncing between blonde, ash brown, taupe, just kind of whatever I grab. But I feel like with my hair color right now, I can get away with any one of those three. Just have to go in with a light hand if I use this particular shade, but I like the coolness of the ash brown. So I'm just gonna fill in here quickly and then we'll add the brow gel. Okay, let's go in with this Boy Brow Gel. And this is in the shade Blonde, I believe. Yes, Blonde. And this is it is a different kind of product. It does have kind of that fibrous building power, but it does really lock your brows in. And I kind of like a balance between a feathery brow and a kind of softer brow. But what I have found with this particular formulation is it really does add a full look to the brows. And several of you have asked for a brow video, and I do have a couple, but I am actually working on a whole new slew of videos for each step of makeup, including brows. So stay tuned for that, but I'll link kind of some of my older brow videos down below. But you can see, I mean, it is going to add color. They do have a clear version of this, which I may try during when Sephora has a sale. I might pick up the clear version, but it is a very voluminous product. Now I have tried it all on its own without a pencil underneath. It's not enough for me. So, but if you're somebody who already has a good brow and you just need like the color added to your brows, or you just need the hold power, this would be a great product for you. All right, let's add some inner corner highlights. So I'm going to go back to the palette here and use a little bit of the shade Pretty Kind. That's another thing I love and appreciate about this palette is the names that she gave her shadows. I don't have to cringe when I read them or decide, should I say that on the video? Oh, such a pretty color. And oh my goodness, it does pack a punch. All right, let's blend that out. I'm gonna use my E30 from Sigma. Just kind of blend that out. Ooh, yeah, really nice. Has a slight little pinkish tint, pinkish peachy tint to it, but I think it works well. That gold on the lid, and actually I'm gonna take a little bit of it to overlap there. All right, let's curl the lashes. I'm using the rougher lash curler. And I am gonna go ahead and apply some mascara. Again, nothing new here. I have really been continuing to enjoy the Gen C mascara. I'm gonna go in with a lighter hand though on the outer corner because we are gonna apply some lashes. But first I'm gonna start with the Dior Maximizer Primer and then apply the Gen C on the top lashes. On the bottom, because I need all-time smudge resistance down there, I'm using the Calorie mascara. While my mascara dries, I'm going to go ahead and apply my MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. But I just wanted to let you know, my lips, even though a lot of the shine has gone, the product is still there. So that lip oil actually does a good job and my lips feel nice and hydrated. It doesn't have any plumping qualities about it, but it is a really nice moisturizing product. So far so good. All right, let's apply this. This is Soft Ochre. And now while that sets, let's talk about some lashes. Okay, if you saw my Darlings and Duds from January and February, you will have seen these appear. I am somebody who rarely ever wears false lashes, but BK Beauty sent me Risa's full line of lashes, and so far these have been the ones that I'm stuck on. So these are the Martini half lashes. These are so comfortable. I have worn these now several times. They're holding together well. And the glue that I've been using with them has been the Strip Lash Adhesive from Lash Couture. And it's the brush-on kind. I just found it to be pretty simple to use. It does take a little bit of time though. You do need to let it dry on the lashes for a good 30 seconds to a minute. So I'm gonna just apply a little bit here and then I'll let this dry for a little bit and then I'll come back and we'll put these on. Okay, I'm just using regular old tweezers and I'm going to look down and I'm going to place these into as close to the roots of the lashes that I can. And if you've waited long enough, you should be able to stick the lash on and it's not going to be sliding around. You may be able to slightly adjust it if you need to, but I feel like I got on there pretty well. All right, there they are. And I do feel like even though they are just half lashes and people say these are really natural, I feel like for me, it's pretty dramatic. Of course, I'm not used to wearing lashes at all. So I'm just gonna add now a tiny little bit of mascara on this inner corner. It just kind of helps everything mesh together. And now I'm gonna go get dressed, do my hair, and I'll come back and we'll finish with lips. Okay, let's finish out with some lipstick and gloss. I'm gonna use the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk. I have been using this a lot. Obviously, I need to sharpen it. Many times I get asked for a good sharpener. This is the J Cat Beauty sharpener. It's like $2.99 and it is fantastic. So just a little side note there. All right, let's add some lip liner. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add the Giorgio Armani Power Lipstick, and this is the shade 500. This is a little more pink than I want it to end up, but we're gonna top it with a little gloss. But this is so long wearing. It is impressive. So you can see it's a really pretty pinky color. But my jacket, here we go. This is kind of the pink I'm going for. So I'm going to top it with a little bit of the Beauty Counter lip gloss. And this is in the shade Bare Shimmer. I was so excited to see this brand is now being sold at Ulta. Makes it so much easier to purchase. Yep, that makes the perfect color. So I could have gone in just with this gloss because it does have some good pigmentation, but with that Giorgio Armani lipstick underneath, I feel like it's gonna last longer. Okay, here's our finished look. And overall, I think this is perfect that it's going up right around the first day of spring, because this is kind of what I think of when I think of an early springy look. We've got a little bit of those kind of peachy pink cheeks and that pinky peach lip. I have got that little hint of some pink and flowers, but you know, it's still a little cool. We've got kind of that nice olive color and it's reflected in the eyeshadow. I love how these lashes look, how they feel. They are so comfortable and they're so much easier to apply every time I put them on. So if you want to test out some lashes, try the half lashes. But overall, everything I use today, I am really enjoying. So I'm really enjoying the eyeshadow palette, the contour stick. Again, it's just kind of a small stick, but it did work. And all of these products just came together really nicely. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching not only this video, but all of my other videos, for supporting my channel. Stay tuned for skincare routine video, more hair videos, the Makeup 101 videos coming, and lots of other fun as well. So thank you so much for watching. Do you want to say goodbye, Miss Mia? Say goodbye. This will be Mia's last video, but hopefully she'll come back and visit us. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Check the description box below for links and a list of everything that I used today, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. You ready to go for a walk? Yeah. Should we get out? Okay, let's go.